guys, welcome back to my studio. My name's Brittnee. I'm a real hairdresser, but today I'm gonna be showing you how to do a one length or a blunt haircut. Deborah, come here. Everyone meet Double D Deborah. She's gonna be our model today. This haircut that I'm gonna show you is intended for you to be doing on someone else. If you're looking for a haircut that you can do by yourself, on yourself, I have some videos that I'll put up here, but this is geared to do on a buddy, friend, whatever you're doing, I don't know. So to get started, you're gonna need some scissors or some shears. I'll put a link in the description box below if you wanna grab these. These are a really inexpensive pair, but you will need some sort of scissor or shear. It can be a crafting shear, it can be a Dollar Tree scissor. You're gonna need a comb. I'm using a 420 comb, which means it has wide teeth and then it has teeth that are closer together. 4 clippies if you have them, bobby pins, whatever. A spray bottle, or just make sure the hair is evenly wet or evenly dry. You always want to use a middle part for this unless you always part your hair to a certain side. If you like to go both ways, then middle part for you. Show them your face. So all you're really doing is cutting the head or the hair in half. Now that you have 2 halves, you want to cut it in half again to make 4 quads. So you want to find the apex, which is the highest point of the head, and you can find that by balancing your comb, and where the comb sets is the highest point. So you want to take this, go straight down, and it's usually right behind the ear. There's her ear, and then you just match it on the other side. That's how you're going to divide the hair. Whoa, where are you going? Sister, getting a little crazy. When you're cutting, you want to make sure that your client is not intoxicated like Double D Deborah, and you also want to make sure that their legs are not crossed. That will create an unbalanced, uneven haircut. To get started, we're going to take a horizontal or parallel to the floor subsection. You need to be able to read a newspaper through this. So that's probably too thick. We're gonna cut that in half. Match that to the other side. Now you wanna get with the person and see how short they want their hair. But remember, if you're cutting this wet, that it is going to shrink up, especially if you're cutting curly hair. So be mindful of that. This first cut is going to be our guide. So what that means is this forms the whole haircut. So if you screw this up, you're gonna screw up the whole haircut. You wanna get this as straight as possible, so take your time. You're gonna take crab claws, little pinchers, using minimal tension, which means you're not yanking it straight down like this. That way we can cut where the hair naturally falls. We're also not cutting out here. It may be easier for you, but it's not better for them. That's gonna change the way the hair distributes and falls, and it's going to end up being a layered technique if you over direct it. It needs to stay in its home, which means the hair grows down, so we need to cut it where it lives. Okay, so we're gonna cut our guide. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna cut her guide right about here at the end of her little neck here, okay? So I'm gonna go through and cut. Follow the line, cut. Follow the line, cut. Follow the line, cut. Follow the line, cut. Cut, cut. Recomb, because you can't get it all at once. Cut, cut. I'm going to check and make sure this is straight, and it's not. So I'm going to straighten it up. And we keep going, grabbing little pieces of hair, because it's impossible to cut all of this at once, and we're just matching that line. Not holding a lot of tension. Now we've created our guideline, so the rest of the haircut is fairly simple. Spray her down, so make sure she's evenly wet or evenly dry, but no in between. For the rest of this, we ping pong up the back of the head. So we're taking this section down, and we're gonna create a subsection. Very thin. Combing it down with the wide teeth, because we want to cut it where the hair lays. As you start to move around the head, the hair obviously changes where it lays. We don't want to over direct hair here because its home is really right here. We're cutting it in its home. Should be able to see your guide through this hair. Can you see that? I am going to cut against the guide. Taking another subsection down, very little tension, using the wide teeth of the comb. Crab clawing it, but not pinching it, and cutting against our guide. Recombing it, making sure we got everything. I missed a piece there. Combing it again. Connecting the dots or connecting the line. Mirroring the other section. What I do to this side, I also do to the other side. Spray her down a little bit, ladies. Checking for balance. Is this even? Even enough. You really want to stop after every cut and check for balance, because if you screw up in the bottom, chances are you're going to screw up at the top. So just go ahead and constantly check yourself and take your time. If it takes you an hour, it takes you an hour. Like, what else you got to do? You'll be fine. Now I'm going to continue up the back of the head, and then I'll show you how to match the sides. Make sure their head's upright. No Snapchatting, no TikToking, straight ahead. How you create the guide on the side is taking it from the back. So we create a horizontal subsection. Oops, where are you going, sister? Clip this back. And we're going to be cutting with the guide that we created from the back. Now, the most important thing about the sides is allowing for the ears. Everybody should have, well, not everybody, but most people have ears, okay? And they're all different. Some stick out, some are flesh to the head, flesh to the head, whatever that word is. You want to be mindful that most people's ears do kind of stick out a little bit. That's normal, folks. Now, Deborah has basically no ears. She's super human. So what you don't want to do is hold a lot of tension here. Just really anxiety attacking this. Cut it, because what will happen is you'll have straight, and you're gonna have a hole here where you didn't allow room for the ear to just be. So we're just taking our crab claws and we're just following the line from the back. So when we get to the ear, we're combing it, we're not holding it really tight. We're just gonna close our scissors or shears, and we're gonna ping, tap, tap. This is gonna release some tension here. See that bubble? And that's going to allow room for said ear. Then we continue with our straight line. Same method, taking a horizontal subsection, combing this straight down, following our guide, cutting against it, not on top, not below, but right with it. When I get to the ear here, closing my shears, bounce to allow to release that tension, connect the line. Remembering that I'm cutting where the hair lives. I'm not over directing this back. That changes the haircut. I'm also not over directing it forward. I'm also not flipping it up so I can see better. Cutting it where the hair lives. Now, when you start to move up to the front, you're getting into new territory here. And all you're doing is just following the line. There's my guide, connecting them. So matching the other side is really easy. You're just going to do the same thing. First, you say a little prayer that everything's going to be even, and then you just follow your guide. Follow your guide. Follow your guide. Horizontal subsection, combing this down, clipping all of this mess up, connecting this line, allowing tension to be released at the ear, following the straight line, cutting it where it lives, not redirecting out of its home. Please, let it be. comb this straight down. And that should be a pretty straight line here if you comb the hair in front of the face. Then you can also just check for weight. The right side feels a tad bit shorter, but nothing's perfect. You'll be fine, right? Oh, she's got hazel eyes. I didn't realize that. Ooh, glaring at me. That's it. Super easy one-length blunt haircut that you can duplicate on your friend at home. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comment box below. And as always, thanks again for joining me here in my studio today. Next week, we'll be back in the bathroom. Don't worry. Make sure you like, subscribe, unsubscribe, dislike. Who cares? I post new cheap tricks for you every single week. I will see you next week for something cool. Something cool.
Somebody clear the smoke screen between the ghost and